Please note that this video is not a guide. It is not telling you what to do, how to play, how you should play, and the best way to play this class. This video is meant to be a gathered opinion of information to help you better decide how to play, what to do, and what decision you may want to make between playing Awakening and Succession. Viewer discretion is advised. If you are not caught up to speed and want to be brought up to the full details of what I have discussed, then you can check out the previous video, and the link for that will be in the description down below. Over the last week and a bit now, I have been no-lifing Battle Arena, Node War, RBF, trying to really get down a much more sound and structured playstyle of this class. A really awesome thing to first note is that we actually now have our triple dash back on flash step. And whereas before we would have a triple dash that would be on cooldown from our Awakening toolkit in Succession, we just have a triple dash when flash step is over. However, it consumes stamina when doing each dash as well. What's kind of neat about this is that being able to charge our martial shards, we can actually now get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flash steps is almost over. 1, 2, 3. But you'll also notice that my stamina now is currently recovering. So a lot of really creative ways to be able to move around and also be protected and be in a super armor. So I'm really happy that that's been added because it's actually been a life changer in terms of mobility. And I'll just show you some of the examples here later on in the video. But before we go into combos, we do have to look into the skill tree. If you want to skip ahead in the video to where the skill tree is not showing on the screen, I will let you go ahead and do that. A few things to note in the Succession toolkit specifically for PvP. A lot of things that have been added, including with the triple dash of our flash step, is our CC has now been added back into Wolf's Fang. We're able to get a CC on Wolf's Fang so long as Wolf's Fang is fully charged or we have the Prey Hunt buff active. You use Wolf's Fang and you'll notice that the energy has gone from blue to yellow. That is a full charge. A good hit on that would be a CC. Or your other option would be to have the buff Prey Hunt and then be able to quickly cast Wolf's Fang. And that on a good hit is also a CC. Pretty cool. Except some of the flows that go into the quick flow of Wolf's Fang are also unprotected. So you need to be kind of creative on how you're going to apply that. A good way you could be using this is also even in a chase. Now do mind that while this hasn't been the most reliable CC, I think with adding this CC potential on the quick flow, so long as Prey Hunt is up, adds a higher chance of success. Target is in front of us. Maybe you're trying to get away from the target and you're able to quick cast, and maybe there's a potential to apply pressure or land a successful CC there. Last week, I did talk over the skill tree in terms of PvE and why I think certain things are good in PvP as well. I'm going to quickly go over this again just to make you aware. So some of the moves we have now also had frontal guards implemented into them as well. Knee Hammer being one of those, having the frontal guard placed back onto it. Crimson Fang now having a frontal guard, Adamantine still having its frontal guard, and then also Rampaging Predator still having its frontal guard. When going into potential crowds of people, is just trying to apply those frontal guards in a rotation. Perfect Blow, Adamantine, Crimson Fang, Knee Hammer, Rampaging Predator, going into Crouching Wolf and applying a lingering super armor, using Rage Hammer and applying a lingering super armor. Taking a step back here, you have the ability to use Crouching Wolf, fill up your shards, go into another lingering super armor, go into a frontal guard, applying the Prey Hunt buff while still applying a lingering super armor, Adamantine, Crimson Fang, Knee Hammer, Rampaging Predator, Adamantine, applying a lingering super armor, Knee Hammer, Crimson Fang, lingering super armor, frontal guard, super armor, frontal guard, frontal guard, frontal guard, frontal guard. You probably see where I'm going here. Now, I don't have an exact perfect rotation down for frontal guards, but the one thing that I am enjoying is that I'm having to use these a lot more often while also holding S as well, just in case there may be any fillers based on timing and whatnot. Frontal guard, S block, Knee Hammer, Rampaging Predator, S block, using a lingering super armor, using another lingering super armor, holding S. Frontal guard, frontal guard, frontal guard, frontal guard, frontal guard, super armor, frontal guard, super armor. Even Wolf's Fang is a frontal guard. So in terms of dueling and in terms of approaching a ball while in a ball, I feel like rotating these and keeping these in mind helps a ton. If you think about it, the CCs for the Succession Toolkit are pretty much exactly the same as our pre-awakening, meaning our choice in dealing damage has changed. All of our CCs are exactly the same. Our finishers, however, are different. My creativity in terms of capitalizing on the CC in a variety of different combos, I'm still working on that. One of the more stronger combos off the grab, and feel free to put any comments down below if you think this can be improved, is grab, perfect blow, Crimson Fang into Venom Fang, which flows into combo final blow into Roaring Tiger. And the goal is to make sure all of your echo flows also hit, which is going to be a matter of timing. I don't know if that's necessarily our strongest combo, but it is something I really enjoy doing. Other combos you can apply are going to be debatable in the creative freestyle of PvP and catching people on certain CCs, because you're not, as a striker, you're not going to land the grab every single time. But this is something to keep in mind of if you do. You could land someone in mass destruction, and then from there, it's going to take recognition of what the situation is like and how much time you have. Also, quicker recognition off certain CCs you may have, like Twisted Collision, being able to go into Skull Crusher, getting a Rampaging Predator off, maybe going into a grab, and then again, going into your Crimson Fang, Venom Fang, Roaring Tiger. So quicker recognition off your CCs could look a little bit like even Twisted Collision, Skull Crusher, Rampaging Predator into the Crimson Fang, and then going into whatever combos you may feel. Let's see if I can make this look a little nicer. Twisted Collision into Skull Crusher, Rampaging Predator into Savage Fang, Crimson Fang into Venom Fang, combo final blow into Roaring Tiger. Hey, that looked pretty decent. So while it feels pretty all right, slow down, it's just coming down to a much quicker finesse of just knowing exactly what to do then and there. And that's just gonna simply take practice. It's like learning how to fight all over again. I like it. The one thing that I have noticed that I've been paying attention to a lot more is my stamina consumption. With consuming stamina off our 3 dashes every single time, and then holding down Crouching Wolf, that also consumes our stamina, and then all these other little moves that consume a little bit of stamina here and there, I find my awareness for stamina management really has to sharpen up as well. In terms of large scale, our kit doesn't really feel completely useless. It just feels our decision making needs to be a little bit more precise. While our finishers used to be a heavy Skull Crusher, that move is also super armored. I'm looking into using moves like Rock Smash and Rage Hammer and still Skull Crusher. One of my more heavy hitters that also is unprotected is Roaring Tiger with the Echo Flow. So finding opportunities and windows where I can also apply this move seems to be pretty effective. Now, people are going to want to know if this is better and whatever. I myself am going to be maining Succession. However, I think both of these are fine options. If you're used to using Awakening and you think that this is better, I can see why. It's a pretty hard-hitting toolkit, especially when you have a luxurious amount of AP. But I feel the skill required to coordinate Succession correctly is just going to require more time put into it, solely because it's different. One of the things that I really enjoy is the fact that Knee Hammer has a frontal guard, and then going into Rock Smash allows me to potentially get these protected engagements in CCs. While having the triple dash added back on to Flash Step, it also gives me an opportunity to disengage, and then using the flow for Wolf's Hunger gives me a pretty crazy amount of mobility and a crazy amount of distance to disengage and recover. But remember, this is all food for thought, and still is a work in progress. And again, my CCs still stay the same. Twisted Collision, Somersault, Adamantine, Rock Smash, Grab, Wolf's Fang, Mass Destruction, Rage Hammer. And yes, there's a few other things that you can use. Now, I did mention Rage Hammer has a CC. So going back into the skill tree on the discussion of PvP, in this toolkit, you will notice in Succession, I'm choosing not to use Rage Hammer because I value a CC over doing a little bit more damage. And yes, while this move does have a cool flow into Knee Hammer, it's quite literally not what I need. I feel like if the flow of this move had a CC as well, it would be perfect. It would be absolutely on point. I don't think it'd be overpowered. It'd be a good engage as a frontliner to get these potential CCs, going from a frontal guard into a super armor. And at the same time, so long as people are casting protected moves, I can still also go into a ball of pure AP and be punished for it. But let's not get caught off track here. I am choosing to use the absolute version of Rage Hammer in my skill tree for the sole fact that it has a CC, and it has saved me in large scale. It has saved me in the duel. Everything else about these two moves are borderline identical with a couple minor discrepancies. I actually think that the difference between these two skills is so minor that it almost seems ridiculous for the CC to be removed. We are talking about a 280% difference in just damage. While one has a cool flow and the potential for a good engage, the other one offers a CC. Damage difference between the two is minimal. And hopefully in the near future, they put the CC back on this move. The reason why I've brought up the difference between these two is so small is because even the damage difference, I will still use this move in PvE. In the current time in the making of this video, this is what I would currently recommend. If you're watching this video in the future and the CC has been put back onto Rage Hammer in succession, you could probably count that I'm going to be using it. Until then, this is what I'd recommend you'd use in succession because this is the final piece to everything that we're missing. About the only other thing that I feel like needs to be added to the succession toolkits, which I'm sure we'll probably see in the future, is the Black Spirit Rages being potentially added to moves, because one of the nice things with Skull Crusher is using your 50% Black Spirit Rage that adds another CC potential. So who knows, maybe we'll see a 50% Black Spirit Rage thrown into Rage Hammer or something else, maybe giving it a little bit more reason to use, but I'm not going to bore you with false realities until they come into the picture. I know some of you guys out there may not feel fully informed, and I'm doing my best to be able to give you my perspective and opinion in a non-biased way to help you make a decision. With some of the small changes that they've thrown onto us, large scale actually feels viable. The decision making feels different. I still feel like the specific role in this class also remains the same, where we can play a viable frontliner and we can play a viable backliner to protect the ball. You can still frag out, you can still get great kills so long as you apply knowledge into what you're doing, and it's gonna take practice. I'm still not amazing with this, but I'm having a blast with it. If you think Awakening is better and you're having more fun with it, awesome, it's a great toolkit. If you think Succession is better and you're having fun with it, awesome. From my experience, I think that it's a great toolkit. Striker is a brawling class. I've always seen him having a very specific role when it comes to large scale. Yes, you can still get the kills, and yes, you can still have moments where you frag, but more importantly, it's a grab class, and it's a class that also can stand sometimes in the thick of things and get important CCs and moments for other class types to deliver those needed kills. And playing that kind of role is extremely important, and with this toolkit, it can still be delivered. In conclusion, what I'm trying to say is the toolkit doesn't feel completely useless. It doesn't. I absolutely still feel like I can hold my own and still deal the damage that I need to. I would definitely like to revisit this topic. This is something that I haven't wanted to rush. I'm not eager to throw out wrong information when I'm excited about playing something new. So while I hope my opinions on this topic have helped you evaluate your own decisions in some way, I also hope that you understand that while I know this class, Succession is still a work in progress for me. So I look forward to hearing what you guys have to share, things that you guys are discovering, combos that you feel like are hard hitters, and anything you'd like to share. Please feel free to put down in the comment section down below where we can continue this discussion.